What's up, my good people, my good people? We're gonna do another. We got a few topics today. We're gonna do Kendrick discography, the full thing. I'm gonna give a booth review for every single project. That means there's 10 streams between 1 and 10, with 10 being a classic and 1 being throw that bitch out the window. We're gonna talk about the Grammys a little bit with Let God Sort 'Em Out versus GNX. I know Chance album is fire, but realistically, it's gonna be either Let's God Sort 'Em Out or GNX. We're gonna talk about some albums that came this year, but because the names ain't super big, they didn't get enough love to me. And we're also gonna talk about G Herbo and some of his discography, not his whole discography, but his top 5 and how that stacks up against some other more known artists. We're gonna get into some R&B. We're gonna talk about the tours for the R&B. Chris Brown Stadium Tour, salute to Chris Brown. Brandy and Monica Tour, I will be there in November to see it. J.E. and Eric Bellinger Tour, I probably will go see that one too. So yeah, let's get started. All right. First and foremost, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about Kendrick's discography first, and we're gonna start with section 80 and get all the way to GNX. Excuse me, y'all. We're gonna start at section 80 and get all the way to GNX. I'm gonna give all of them a review, and I'm gonna be honest about GNX, in my opinion. I'm gonna be giving my honest opinion about it. It might be a little controversial, but I'm gonna give my opinions about all these albums. I'm gonna start with section 80. Great project. I'm not gonna spend too long on this because there's a mad topic to get through, and I want to spend most of this time talking about. I'm gonna spend most of this time talking about GNX. So I'm gonna just give a quick run through. I'm gonna do a full, all the greats like this: Kendricks, the Tupacs, the Scarfaces, the Nas's, the J. Cole's, the Drakes, the Eminems. All of them will get a full. They'll get a full pod at some point. Not like they'll get a full show at some point. Not yet, but when the viewership grows, they will definitely get a full show. But let's get to Kendrick's discography, section 80. I give that 7.5 out of 10 streams. Actually, his second worst project to me, but he has a really good catalog, so even his second worst is 7.5 streams. Next, Good Kid, Mad City, 10 out of 10. His best project, in my opinion. I can see how someone would say To Pimp a Butterfly is his best project. It's his most creative. He got songs on To Pimp a Butterfly that are more deep and introspective, you could say, but I love Good Kid, Mad City. Might be the best album that's came out, hip-hop album that's came out since 2010. It might be. I had to go look at it, but it's definitely in the top 5. I'm going to say it might be the best one. Might be the best one. To Pimp a Butterfly, also 10 streams. Not just for the music. For the music, let me say, when I do 10 streams, it's for the music, but I also want to talk about the impact To Pimp a Butterfly had. Great album. One of my favorite 3 songs by Kendrick is On To Pimp a Butterfly, Mortal Man. That's one of my 3 favorite Kendrick Lamar songs. So let me say that. I want to also say Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly was when Kendrick was rapping his best, and Section 80. After this, Section 80 just didn't have as much, he wasn't artistically where he was on Good Kid, Mad City or To Pimp a Butterfly. But after To Pimp a Butterfly, lyrically, he didn't stay at that same level. Not saying that he's got a lot worse, but those 2 albums, lyrically, he was elite. After that, he got not as elite lyrically. He still is elite, but he's surviving off of being such an elite lyricist on those projects that when he gets into his later projects, he doesn't have to be elite on every song. He only has to be elite on a couple songs, and you'll be like, damn, he still got it. But who gets to be a lead on every song. All right, next we're gonna get into Damn. I'm gonna give Damn. I'll give Damn 8 streams. It's a good project. There was some misses on here to me. Fear is another one of my favorite Kendrick songs, and Duckworth, which were both on here. But a lot of the project was not that high. To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City are high all the way throughout to me. I love the jazz production on To Pimp a Butterfly. I love everything about Good Kid, Mad City. Damn, the highs were high, but it wasn't high throughout. So I'm gonna say it's an 8 streams, which is still a really, really good project. Still a good project. Also, it had the Pulitzer Prize and all that. Got that, so that's good. But musically, to me, it was only an 8. Not, I'm saying only like that's low, but like I said, his discography is amazing. So even his lesser project get rated that high. I'm sorry, I skipped over Untitled Unmastered, which to me would also be an 8. A lot of people think that's crazy, but '05 on there on Untitled Unmastered is amazing. Has a couple tracks on there that are amazing, great concepts again, and it seemed a lot like To Pimp a Butterfly, just not quite as good. I'll say that's an 8 too. So Damn and Untitled Unmastered will both get an 8 from me. Next, we'll get into his newer catalog, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. For some reason, the internet hates this album. I don't know why the internet hates this album, but the internet didn't like. Well, they don't hate it now, but they hated this album. It's his third best project, in my opinion. The concept is crazy. It's real introspective. I love what he did with Kodak Black on there, the features. I love the Summer Walker and Ghostface feature too on Purple Hearts. I love that album. It's my third favorite Kendrick album, and this is this. Also, I will give this project 9 streams out of 10, which is really high actually. I really like that project. It's one of my favorite albums that came out this decade. I really like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. If it didn't have, it's long, and I think it has about 4 skips on it, but even for a long project, I don't want 4 skips, and it got a couple of skits. Outside of the Kodak skit, I don't really care for the skits. So if it was a little bit shorter, it gets 10 streams out of me. If it was a little bit shorter and it didn't it has too many skips, I'm not giving a project, even with 20 songs, I'm not giving a project with 4 skips and 2 skits that I don't listen to. That's only 15 out of 21 tracks. And yes, I do count skits because you put it on your album. I know that's tough, but if you put it on your album, I count it. So it's too many. 15 out of 21 can't get 10. It can get 9 because I really love the 15 tracks, but it can't get 10. Now we'll get into my opinion. This is my opinion. Kendrick's worst album in his discography, GNX. This is controversial because people love this album. People think it deserves a Grammy. It was off the Pop Out and off the Beef. Just ain't for me. It's his least lyrical album by far, not even close. It's like not even close. It's easily his least lyrical album. He says on Whacked Out Murals that it's not for the lyric, but for Kendrick, I expect you to be lyrical on all your tapes. Now, I mean, that ain't his bag is being a lyricist. I don't want you to jump into a not being a lyricist bag. Now, I mean, I'm not one of them. I love his concept albums. There's no real concept album. It's not really a concept at all. I'm one of them people that don't want people to really, if you're a lyricist, I like you to be a lyricist. I know people want to change it up, but I like people that are consistent in what they do. I don't want Future to try to be a lyricist. I love Future for what he does. It's the same thing with Kendrick. I like people for what they do. Now, can you expand your sound and grow? Yes, but if you're a lyricist, your least lyrical album is going to be your least favorite album for me. So GNX only gets 7 out of 10 streams for me. Yeah, out of a 10, it definitely only gets 7. It's his worst album to me. The songs I go back to are Man in the Garden, Reincarnated, Whacked Out Murals. Those are the ones I really go back to. If I'm thinking about it, those are the 3 songs I really go back to. I don't like the GNX track. Not really big on Dodger Blue or Peekaboo or what else is on there? Squabble Up is okay, I guess. Luther is heat. I'm sorry, Luther is heat. I do like Luther. There's about 4 or 5 tracks on there I like, but it's just too much. It's too much. It's just a lot that I don't like. So, yeah, GNX to me is Kendrick's worst album, easily. We're going to get more into that next when we talk about Let God Sort 'Em Out versus GNX. But to me, GNX is easily Kendrick's worst album. So let's order his discography. I got it. Good Kid, Mad City at 1. To Pimp a Butterfly at 2. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers at 3. Damn at 4. Untitled Unmastered at 5. Section 80 at 6. And GNX at 7. His worst project is GNX to me, and it's a 7 out of 10. So, I mean, he don't have bad projects. A 7 is still good. 7 mid to me is 5. Anything above a 5 is decent, at least. And that's a 7, so it's still not a bad project. Man in the Garden and Reincarnated is fire. Know what I mean? So, all right, let's get into our next topic, which will be Let God Sort 'Em Out versus GNX. Okay. I don't think it's close. I just told you how I feel about GNX. I don't think it's close. Let God Sort 'Em Out to me is the album of the year. I could see arguments for a Chance album. I don't see the arguments for Freddie Gibbs' album. Even though I like Freddie's project, it's just not as good as Let God Sort 'Em Out. I don't think it's even close. But Freddie and Chance have good albums. Let God Sort 'Em Out to me got 10 streams. Chance and Freddie both got either 8 or 8.5. Still not as good as Let God Sort 'Em Out. GNX isn't as good as none of those projects. GNX to me is only about a 7. I understand the momentum and the moment it did. And an honest take for me about GNX, I don't think he really wanted to make GNX like that. I think he made it to cash out on the pop out and the beef. And he needed an album for the Super Bowl. And his fans was eating everything up at that point. He was on top of the world, so why not let me drop something, I mean? Drop something nice. Go in there, do the Super Bowl, and just go on this run he been on. People will say it did the tour, but GNX tour isn't just him doing GNX. There's mad songs on that tour. He starts off with Euphoria, which is a beef song. He ends with Not Like Us, which is a beef song. He does a lot of project songs off of Damn, off of Good Kid, off of To Pimp a Butterfly. He does the set list is long. He ain't just doing GNX. So GNX is not the reason that the tour is selling. The tour is selling because he's Kendrick Lamar. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers did numbers similar, and it's because it's Kendrick, not because of what the album was. To me, Let God Sort 'Em Out should win every category that it's in as far as rap goes. Album of the year, if they put it against something like The Weeknd, Hurry Up Tomorrow, which I loved, if it goes against something like that, I could see The Weeknd winning. But as far as just rap shit, GNX can't compete with Let God Sort 'Em Out to me. GNX might win Album of the Year too, though, because of its impact. Because that has to matter. That was the most impactful album of the year. So, I mean, I could see it winning, but I don't think it's winning for the how good it is. That's just my opinion on that. Let God Sort 'Em Out is a lot better than me. Next, we're going to talk about albums this year that didn't get the appreciation and the love that they deserved because they were overshadowed by a lot of other albums. There's a lot of music that drops, and unless you really tuned in and really listen to a lot of music, you're not going to know all of it. But Boldy James dropped Late to My Own Funeral. Fire project. Fire project. I think I gave it 9 streams. Only has 1 skip on it, and that skip ain't even that bad. 10 songs, 1 skip. It's 90% to me. 9 out of 10 to me. That shit is fire. Antonio Tuttle is one of my favorite tracks this year. Salute to Boldy James. That shit is heat. Nah, I mean, big heat. And that shit is fire. Also, the Boosie Words of a Real One project. Best Boosie album to me since Bupac, which came out in 2017. It's one of Boosie's best projects ever, and I'm a long time Boosie fan since '05. Know what I mean? Maybe '03. I'm a long term Boosie fan. Know what I mean? 20 plus years of listening to Boosie. There was some years back in my younger days when I was moving around a little bit. Know what I mean? Well, a lot. I was moving around, but when I was younger, when I really only was fucking with the street music, Boosie was one of the only people I was listening to. It was a lot of Boosie, a lot of Jeezy, a lot of Gucci, a lot of Yo Gotti, and like Future and shit like that. This is the late 2000s, early 10s, mid 2000s, all that. It was mad Boosie. So I love all his old music, but out of his new projects, Bupac in 2017 and this one are the only ones that can compete to me with his old project. Words of a Real One is elite. You can play it through. It sounds like the old Boosie. It's really, really, really good. To touch some more trap music, ESTG, My World Project is fire. He's another artist that I really fuck with. I've been fucking with since he came out. His earlier projects I even fucked with. He got some of my favorite mixtapes of all time. One of my favorite mixtapes of all time. Two of them actually. I like ESTG a lot. Of all the new street rappers, he's my favorite easily. He might be one of my top 5 favorite trap artists ever already. He real detailed with it. I like the trap rappers is detailed, that I can feel the details. I look for certain shit differently. I look in trap music, I want the details, and I can feel that shit, and I can and how believable it is in the detail you rap in. With lyrical music, I want you to be lyrical. I want a lot of quotables. I want quotables from my trap rappers too, but for my lyrical rappers, I want a lot of quotables. I want bars that I can write down that look nice. Know what I mean? I want you to rap in multi some. I want I expect different shit from different rappers. But either way, this ESTG My World project, elite. I'm not gonna say elite. I'm using that word too much. It's a really great project. It's I think I gave it 8.5 streams out of 10. It's his best project since either Bigger Than Life or I think since Bigger Than Life or Death. This is his best project since then to me. Yeah, I think so. No, I Still Can't Feel Nothing is right there. I Still Can't Feel Nothing in My World are neck and neck. Bigger Than Life or Death and I Don't Feel Nothing. No, I still don't feel nothing. I never felt nothing. I'm sorry. I never felt nothing in My World neck and neck. I Still Don't Feel Nothing and Bigger Than Life or Death are his 2 best projects. I Don't Feel Nothing is number 3. But then these 2, My World and I Never Felt Nothing are like 4 and 5. My World is fire. Didn't get any real talk about because of all the big albums. Because ESTG isn't a huge artist. But I went to his show. It was lit. Went to see ESTG. Yeah, that shit was lit. He always lit when he come through anywhere around that I seen him in DC, Norfolk, Richmond, ESTG put it down. Next one, I'm gonna talk about another CMG artist. Salute to CMG. Y'all know I fuck with CMG and Gotti and them. I fuck with them tough. Mozzie album was fire. Intrusive Thoughts might still be one of the best 5, 6 projects this year. I think I gave it either 8.5. I think I gave it 8.5 or 9 streams. Real good project. Didn't have that many skips on it. A little long, but it was really good. No one talked about it because again, he's not a huge artist. He's way bigger on the West Coast, but that Intrusive Thoughts is crazy. Know what I mean? That ain't no real misses on that. He come off hard. From the first track, you know how he coming. Know what I mean? That shit. Mozzie talking. Mozzie is one of the most underrated rappers to me because he's not as put out there as much as because one, he's from the West Coast and he's from Sacramento, which isn't the Bay or LA, so he's not as gonna be put out there as much as a rapper from New York or LA or it's already harder for people that ain't from LA on the West Coast to make any kind of noise. It's harder. Just like people from other parts of the South that ain't big cities, it's harder to make noise from. Sacramento is a big city, but it's not the Bay or LA, so it gets looked over. But Mozzie is fire. Album is fire. Intrusive Thoughts is in my top 5 or 6 projects this year, I think. I'd have to go check to make sure. This year had a lot of good albums, so me putting it up there means it's had a lot of good albums. And finally, this Banks project, AON3, ain't get enough love. Definitely in my top 5 projects this year. Lyrically, he was on point. Production is pretty good. I mean, I can see how people would say it's too formulaic because Banks is very formulaic. It's for a certain type of ear, and if it ain't your shit, it's just not. But I'm the type of ear that can go from ESTG and Boosie to Lloyd Banks and Ghostface Killer easily. You know what I mean? So I like all type of music. So for me, it was good. Lloyd Banks project got looked over a lot and should be in album of the year discussions more than a lot of projects you see put in those discussions. I think it's better than JID project. I think it's better than Freddie project. I think it's better than GNX, which was last year. But I think it's better than most projects that came out this year. Probably on a strictly just rap hip hop level. Besides Let God Sort 'Em Out, I think it's the best. Or Bodie James, Late to My Own Funeral is up there too. Yeah. Those are the 3 best hip-hop albums that came out. The best trap albums are Boosie, Words of a Real One, which I just discussed, and ESTG, My World. Those are the best trap albums that came out this year, to me. Next, I want to talk about G Herbo. G Herbo's about to drop a project called Lil Herb. I've been listening to G Herbo since he was Lil Herb. G Herbo is one of my favorite artists, especially of the newer generation. He's not that much newer. He's only 5 years younger than me now. I mean, maybe 6 or something like that. He's 30. I'm in my mid-30s. He's not that much younger than me. But he is in the newer bracket, though. And there's a big difference between 30 and 35, 36, just so y'all know. There's a big difference in the way you age, the way you talk, the way you think. So he is still a little younger. But he's different. He's different because he has his own pocket. He has his own fans. And if you go to places like D.C., Philly, Chicago, Milwaukee, even down south, Atlanta, New York, Florida, niggas love Herbo. He's one of them, like we used to have, like I said, we had Boosie and Jeezy and Gotti and Gucci Mane and Future and all them for the young niggas 16 to like 25. They got Herbo and Youngboy and Kodak and YTB Fat and shit like that. Herbo is one of them. Up north, like the East Coast and the upper Midwest, I think Herbo is the most listened. They really swear by Herbo. I travel a little bit, so I know a little bit what I'm talking about. They swear by Herbo. You go to Philly and New York, and they talk to the young niggas in the Jacks. Go to Detroit, talk to the young niggas. Now, I mean, they fucking with Herb. Now, Went Legit has got him a different type of fan. Like people that wasn't really big Herbo fans, they fucking with Herbo now. But niggas been fucking with Herbo. I've been fucking with Herbo since I was early 20s. Matter of fact, I think the first time I heard Herbo, I was locked up. To be all the way honest, I think the first time I heard Herbo, I was doing a bid. And as soon as I got out, he was one of my favorite artists. Yeah, I was in there for a couple of years. But yeah, when I first came home, Herbo was one of my favorite artists. He taught some good shit. We're gonna rank. I'm gonna talk about Herbo's top 5 projects now. Humble Beast to me is his best project. Malcolm is his best song, like storytelling. That shit is amazing. People that think he's not a good rapper, listen to Humble Beast, the whole shit. If you think he can't storytell, if you think he's not like a really good rapper, listen to Malcolm. It's great storytelling. All of Humble Beast is fire, though. The whole thing. It's long. The deluxe is long. Not that many skips, and it's a long project. To me, it is a 10-stream project. It's his best project. 10 out of 10. His next best project to me is Sessions. Sessions is also to me a 10 out of 10. Fire. Just great rapping throughout. Real good project. Just amazing. Those are his only 2 projects that I consider 10 out of 10s. Those are his 2 best projects to me, though. Next, we're going to get into his next Balling Like I'm Kobe was really fire. Um, Probably give it 8.5 out of 10 streams. Today, when you listen to it, it got more skips than it used to, but it was a really good project when it came out. He was rapping his ass off. Bottom of the Bottoms is another song that if you don't think Herbo can rap, you really need to listen and tap in. Herbo talking crazy on there. Then we're gonna get into the PTSD Deluxe, Welcome to Phasal Land, and Strictly for My Fans are all tied somewhere for 4, 5, and 6, but I don't know which one I will put 4 and 5. So PTSD Deluxe has some really great projects on it. Really great songs like Riding With It. That joint with Dirk was fire. Real One, that's what it's called. That shit was fire. And it was during the pandemic. That shit was fire. I'll say his rapping had took a little bit of a backseat around this time, though. He wasn't as lyrically inclined as he was on like Humble Beast or Ballin' Like I'm Kobe. But it's a really good project. He wasn't nearly as lyrically inclined as he was on Sessions either. Sessions is some good rapping. Again, if you don't think Herbo can rap, listen to Sessions, listen to Humble Beast, listen to Ballin' Like I'm Kobe. You'll change your mind. Strictly for My Fans is fire. It's one of his projects that's a little formulaic to me. A lot of the songs sound like the last song, but it's a really good project. It got some songs I really like on there. Walking to Phasal Land, as his introduction, is fire. It aged really well. A lot of Herbo fans will swear by this because he was still Lil Herb. But yeah, those are his best projects to me, and Herbo deserves more love for what he does for his generation. He's one of them. He's one of them. He's definitely in the top 5 of his generation. I say is Young Boy, Herbo, Dirk, Kodak are the staples for that age, for that generation. Those are the staples. Just like for our generation, for the streets, it was Gucci, Jeezy, Gotti, and Boosie. Future came later, but it was them and then Future. So I think it's the same for this generation. That's it for the Herbo talk. Now we're gonna get into some R&B, a little bit of R&B. I'm gonna talk about these tours. First out, Salute, shout out to Chris Brown. Straight out of Tappahannock, 804 shit. Salute Chris Brown. He killed this tour, sold out every show, did stadiums, brought Summer Walker and Bryson, 2 fire artists from the newer generation. Salute to Summer and Bryson, 2 fire. Bryson just put out an album recently. Summer's dropping her project November 14th. So yeah, Chris Brown is doing it. Chris Brown is one of the hardest artists to get a versus for, because you can't do it with anyone from his era for real. You can't do it with Trey, even though I fuck with Trey. I actually probably like Trey Songz music a little more because that's the type of R&B fan I am. I like that type more than Chris Brown type. But Chris Brown is so talented and got so many hits. He can't do a 20 with anyone from his generation, but then I don't think he can do a 20 with someone like Usher because Usher's 20 is too strong. The only way you could do a real Chris Brown versus is if you do 30 with Usher. So it's more even. And then they might tie like 15-15. If it goes to 20, I got Usher winning kind of easily because Usher's 20 is so strong. But I would love to see a Chris Brown versus. It's just that who can you do a versus with him? The Weeknd and him don't make similar music. I think The Weeknd might be able to keep up in a sense because he got them big ass hits. He got some features. He could go to 20, but it's the audiences are so different. And Chris Brown is so much of a better performer that he'd blow that shit out the water. He's the better singer. He's the better. And also Weeknd, I really fuck with The Weeknd. I'm a big Weeknd fan. One of my favorite musicians in general. I went to Weeknd show this year. He did a stadium tour too. Shout out to The Weeknd. But I think Chris Brown is getting him out of here in the verses because the performance is gonna matter. You seen what happened with Locks and Dipset? Even if the catalogs are similar, the performance matters too much. Chris Brown is too good a performer. I don't know who I would want to see Chris Brown do a versus with, but Chris Brown is one of them. Salute to him for doing that stadium tour. Big salute. He did 3 straight shows in D.C. We got to salute that. Someone that's living near D.C. now. Big deal. Now, I also want to talk about this Brandy and Monica tour. I will be going to see them. Brandy is in my top 5 or 3 favorite female R&B artists, so I try to show her some love. I fuck with Monica too, but I fuck with Brandy on a different level. Never Say Never and Full Moon are amazing albums. 2 of my favorite female R&B albums. 2 of my favorite R&B albums in general, but 2 of my favorite albums from women R&B. Yeah, I'll definitely be there to see the tour. Salute to them. I think she just finished up in Indianapolis. They say she's still singing at a high level. They say Monica's still singing at a high level. Monica's one of them too. Let me give Monica her flowers, salute her. Monica is elite. One of them. She's a legend. One of the best R&B acts we've had. So salute both of them. The last tour I will be talking about is Jagged Edge and Eric Bellinger. I will definitely be trying to see them too. Eric Bellinger is underrated in a sense because he can do it all. He can songwrite. He's one of the best vocalists of the last decade, a little longer than that. But he's a great vocalist, can sing most people under the table that got more fame than him, almost all of them. Even the bigger artists that are really good singers, Eric Bellinger can sing most of them niggas under the table. Eric Bellinger don't get a lot of love. He got some fire projects. He doesn't get the love he deserves. He dropped the album this year, and even though it's not my favorite, it got some heat on it. But what I'm going to do right now is give Eric Bellinger his love for his catalog because he doesn't get enough. The Rebirth 3 that dropped last year, heat. 1-800 Hit Easy. Him and Hitmaker just fire. Like, Eric Bellinger don't get his love. He can do all the types of R&B you want. He can do this new shit that ain't super duper soulful, but is vibe-like, and he can ride that shit and make it fire. He can do the real soulful R&B. He do the R&B for the love-making. He can sing, like I said, he can sing most niggas under the table. He got a great catalog. He got, like, Optimal Music, Scenarios, Cuffin' Season 3, the Rebirth 2. The Rebirth 3 and Rebirth 2 is fire. The first Rebirth is fire. Easy Call is fire. He got them joints. His mixtape Eventually. Eric B for President. This nigga Eric Bellinger, I gotta salute him again. That's one of my favorite R&B artists. Ever, really. Ever. And he got projects, and he's just not, he don't get the love that he need. And I just wanted to put that out there. Eric Bellinger is one of them. The first Rebirth, fire too. Like, Eric Bellinger don't get the love he deserve. That's how we gonna end this though. Well, this is how I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna talk a little bit about my store. Rooted and Fly on Shopify. We talk. It's for black-owned brands. Any black-owned brands or black-owned businesses that you guys know. If they have an affiliate link or if they want to be highlighted on my show, highlighted on my website, send them to me. I try to not wear too many European brands. You see me with Nike on right now. I fuck with Nike because of how they fucked with Kaepernick. But I really try to be on black-owned brand shit. I eat at a lot of black-owned restaurants. Try to wear a lot of black-owned brands. So any black-owned brands you guys know, leave comments, send me to them. Give me their website. I'll email them, ask them if they want to be featured on my page, on my... I do it. Of course, it's a business, so I get like a 10% commission for sending people to them. It always comes to my website that'll go to them. But I highlight it on my Instagram. I highlight it on my YouTube. I highlight it everywhere. Black businesses don't get the marketing that they deserve. We wear too many European brands. We love European brands way too much. Not even American brands. I'm talking about European. At least Nike American. We wear a lot of European brands. Way too much. Give them way too much love. So I want to salute more of the black-owned brands, the African brands. I have a couple working with me right now. Salute to Opinion. They were the first ones to fuck with me, so big salute to Opinion. You can go on my website now, Rooted andfly.shopify.com. Their clothes are on my first page. It'll send you a link to get on their website, or you can order it off my page, but it'll still be off of their website. It'll still go to them. So salute the black-owned brands, black-owned business owners. And that's it. That's how we're going to end this. Like and subscribe. Make sure you check out my other videos. All right, y'all.